he has this view, the city is for, you know, Sex and the City, young, trendy bankers, all of that, and if you have kids, you go to the suburbs. We are not America yet. We are Britain, we are Scotland, we are Europe, we are different to all of that. And I just urge anyone who cares about Edinburgh to focus on the fact that families, like I was brought up in Edinburgh, like I'm bringing my family up in Edinburgh, I mean, what is the new town if not a family living in the city? That's what it was definitively built for. We need to do more of that. Other things I've done for the city, there's dance space, Grass Market was a car park. Here was my wee proposal to make a dance space for most of the year and a skating rink. I think the skating rink would have been so much better here. I've proposed this over and over and over, and seal whatever. I had to then tender for it. We didn't even get shortlisted, and we said it's because of my lack of experience of working with historic places. I didn't quite understand that. Anyway, I think that this was just all a bit too nice for them. I think my parents met skating on a pond in Morningside. Actually, to have those things in the city is absolutely wonderful. I worry about our urban spaces whose only use appears to be drinking outside bars. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but as long as it's leavened with other things. And the lovely thing about dance space has made this whole urban environment denser. There are more people there. But the drinkers and the stagnators, which the city needs to welcome, we need to welcome everyone, I think that they probably cause less trouble because there are people coming out of dance space who are more civic-minded and are a wee bit fitter and those sorts of things. So that, to me, is a city working well when it mixes all these things up together. And then I really regret what's happened in Princes Street with the Coleman Association. I was part of planning appeal which, when the city, as Aberdeen is doing now, crazy what Aberdeen is doing, was trying to fill in Princes Street Gardens, or as the original brochure said, turn it into the food court for an underground shopping centre under Princes Street. We challenged that at public inquiry. We won the public inquiry, and part of that challenge was me saying these sites can be brought together and larger retail uses go in there. Now, I don't think it was taken forward completely correctly, and indeed that was our idea, that instead of having just ground floor use like Princes Square in Glasgow, if you made all these retail uses at all these levels, but if you actually glazed the end, you would have this fantastic view of the old town across the way, and hugely increase the value because you're bringing retail value, stacking it up on all floors, and then you take that through to Rose Street behind. It's still possible, so if any of you represent any Arab wealth funds, I'd be very pleased to take your card afterwards, and we could be on site next year, so it's still possible. And actually, you know, I see what's happening in Princes Street. I'm afraid I'm absolutely devastated. The one on the right is quite nice, albeit these buildings could have come down too, because Princes Street is overlisted. Historic Scotland's aware it's overlisted. We had a sign off for those buildings to come down, and you could have put a really, really major store in there if the council had taken what we'd done forward and done more feasibility studies. But this, I mean, that just makes me want to weep. We did a study on those buildings, and we were chucked out by commercial architects who talked about the success of their last Princes Street job, which is Waverley Gate, which is absolutely dreadful. And I just see what's happening here, and it's just terrible. We've heard for so long previous councillors saying what we need to have in Edinburgh is not just good enough. This is Edinburgh, it has to be exemplary, it has to be the very best. And on Princes Street, which we know is such a problem, to have this, it's a really huge embarrassment. It's a huge embarrassment as an architect here when people visit. I'm sorry. Anyway, sometimes things go right. So here are some things that we're doing in Edinburgh just now. This will be the Edinburgh University Centre for Climate Change, Edinburgh University's major initiative at the moment. It's in the Old Royal High School, not the one obviously in Carlton Hill. Goodness knows what's happening there just now, but the one in High School Yards. And that building So that's the building at the bottom of Infirmary Street. We repair and restore the building out the front, but then out the back, Surgeon Square, wonderful place where we're recovering important buildings blocked off at the moment, and we're working with the council and with Edinburgh World Heritage Trust, reopening these stairs based on the success of the Scotsman Steps. So you get that wonderful space at the back, a building that opens up onto it, and then stitching new atria through. And it's this positive reuse of historic buildings, bringing them together. And then we're doing work on it. We've been appointed on 2 sites, I think, in the 21st century housing, which we're absolutely delighted for. We really think this is a fantastic opportunity. I think it's great what the city is doing in terms of really almost using the Edinburgh's council housing. It's a great moment to do it, and a really, really important initiative. I'm not going to show you what we're doing yet because they're in very early stages, but we're very pleased to be doing that. One thing that we are wanting to investigate is that when people said to me, well, this is very un-Edinburgh to do these terraces like this, I said, well, look, here's the colonies. And I've tried to get so many volume house builders interested in the colonies. This is as dense as Marchmont. It has as many people per hectare as Marchmont. And everybody has a garden. It's the absolute exemplar of density with amenity. What would a modern version of the colonies look like? Well, the 2 things that don't work in the colonies, well, 3 things, soundproofing, but we get that right. The 2 things that don't work is that double upper, that's its garden. So, you know, when you're bending over doing the gardening or you're sitting in the garden, someone else's house is looking out onto you. Also, inevitably, some of the gardens face mostly north and don't get very good sunshine, so they're not very usable. So we do a combination of that and this, what we've done here, and basically this is the sort of thing we're starting to talk to the council about. So basically we've taken the garden that was here and we've put it there so that the ground floor flat, park at front, in your front door, out your back door, south facing garden. Double upper, park here, through here, up into your house, with a terrace at high level, or down into your garden there. So no one looks out into each other's garden. You have a little mews close that you can put tricycles and things in. All the gardens are south facing. It's all about sunshine, and it's very, very tight and dense and integrated. And we're hugely looking forward to the council actually saying that this is a real good model for living in the city, to say to Angus Duane, you can do this, to look at their traditions and take them forward. Sometimes we don't know whether things are going right. Well, this we think is happening on the back of the UNESCO stuff. Here's sites behind John Knox House and the council on the Trinity Apse here. Fantastic historic, 15th century. And we think that Creative Scotland is very interested in funding this. It didn't win the Edinburgh Community Arts Fund Prize, but there's now a group of literature sector people looking at this and take it forward to make maybe an all year round venue for the book festival. They'd still be in Charlotte Square in August, but can they be presenting? Can you have authors talking here all year round? This is a wonderful use and also a wonderful understanding for old town courts and closes. This is something that we know the council is very positive about. The problem, of course, is Forth Ports and what's happening there. And the problem, of course, is that there's a huge swathe of Edinburgh's waterfront that's privatised. That's hugely problematic. But this would be the world's first enclosed whitewater rafting and canoeing course. So having that outside Victoria Quay in here, fantastic use and fantastic draw for Leith. If only we had a tram going to it, that would be helpful. One day, please. So this is stuff we've done for free because this is a wonderful club, no, nearly for free. And the idea is that that gets enclosed in PTFE and that this is a grid shell fabric. But it needs to be a really bold building to stand up to the very, very dull Victoria Quay and the very, very dull Ocean Terminal and shopping centre. Now this is work we've really enjoyed, we're council term contractors, really enjoying looking at sites around here and seeing how bringing routes through footfall